Sidra Belle Dance New York is a company that emphasizes exploration of movement and combines that with aspects of theater and music and fashion to create worlds on stage that speak to the human condition and also bringing contemporary dance to a broader audience.
The company started in 2001 at a space in Harlem. It's been exciting to see something that was very, very small, just an idea, blossom, and we've seen such a change in the way she presents dance over the past, I would say, 4 years.
I think that the word contemporary is vast, which is why the work of the company has been so far-ranging. For me, contemporary dance is a mix of what has been and what can be. What I've done with my work is to think about it as the integration of all those elements coming together. There are pieces that are pure movement and then vaudevillian in nature and comic and dark, and it's a nod to the past but also an imagining of the future.
And in terms of the performance and the work, it's constantly evolving. So it feels like you're never doing the same thing on stage ever. There's a lot of play. Play means for me as an artist, the ability to make decisions while you're performing. The ability to trust your body and trust the people around you to constantly shift with those decisions.
Creating a new work is still physical for me. I make material with the dancers and they learn it off of my body. From the minute they learn a phrase or a piece of material, they're already destroying it. It doesn't exist in this pure state. It becomes embodied in them.
Physicality and mental work and preparation, they're the one and the same. What feels so good is the fact that you are, at points, thematically maybe playing a certain character, but you are viscerally 100% involved in that character.
Creating a piece with Sidra feels like a laboratory experiment to me, and we are like the chemicals and Sidra's like the scientist that drops a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's so interesting to see over sometimes a week or sometimes a couple of months how this little experiment just blows up.
High degree of physicality is really important in contemporary dance. The technique of the body needs to be clear. What also happens inside of creating a work is using improvisation, for instance, and games to stretch that technique out to something that is larger than itself. There's been a tendency in my work to include grotesquerie side by side with beauty. It can be so beautiful, but for me, darkness is always there in human nature. And that dichotomy and that binary that exists in all of us is so fascinating.
To accept the darkness and also to work in the light and also expect that they're always there and they're always apparent, and to just live and experience them and to not really judge, just to experience everything that's coming towards you.
I think Beautiful Beast was a huge turning point. We were playing with the male gaze, but embodied through the female form. So there's back and forth where the women were observing themselves, doing sometimes vulgar and extreme movement, but they were totally in control of that. And it was empowering to be a little reckless in that work.
It's just a body and physicality. It's movement and emotions that everyone has, whether you're male or female. And that's why I could be Tash, Tash could be me, I could be Misa, Misa could be Rebecca. We're just a Barbie that's just being assembled with all this material, and then the physicality comes from Sidra and another place that we can just add on top of that, and just another thing to play with, and it's just one giant lens of human nature.
We talk a lot about the moments where the dancers break the fourth wall, for instance, in a piece like Stella. It's never dangerous. I want the audience to feel safe, so I try to create the environment that feels like, okay, it's a little off, but you're okay.
It's all controlled.
There is a sense of control in it, yeah. Our motto has always been think, feel, play, experience. Very simple words, but I think that we can all relate to that we're thinking and feeling and experiencing, and hopefully you feel like you can play again.